Hi, it's Carol from Carol's Creative Corner. How are you doing today? Happy Blur's Day. That's my new word. Happy Blur's Day, because every day is kind of blurring together. I don't know if you feel that way, but hopefully you had a good Memorial weekend. And so hopefully it felt a little different just because you actually had an extra day. And hopefully you were able to do some of your traditions that you normally do on Memorial Day. I did have some friends that got to go out to Fort Snelling. So I hope you were able to remember and honor, and that it was a good day for you. So today I thought I would show you how to use the Stamparatus. I think that it's a great tool for perfecting your stamping. I, in particular, have an issue sometimes with getting things straight. So I call the Stamparatus my best friend because it really helps me get my images straight and always comes out perfect. I'm just amazed with it. So I wanted to show it to you today because I used it recently and I had it set up. And so I am going to flip the camera over and show you the Stamparatus and some cards that I made with the Stamparatus. So just a second, let me flip. Okay, so here is my workspace. And what I have in front of me is this template that I created. I want to create this label, and I wanted the words placed slightly toward the top because I wanted to put this pretty doodad at the bottom. Now, this little doodad comes from the Old World Suite that's in the new catalog, and it's using the brass foil paper. And I just love the paper because it has such a metallic feel to it, and it's so nice and shiny. So I just love it, and especially if used with this suite. So what I wanted to do was to put the words up slightly. And so what I did is I punched out the label. I should say die cut. It is a die cut. Here's the die, and it goes with these tasteful labels that are coming in the new catalog next week. So this label fits, and look at all the other wonderful labels that you get in this set. And then I don't know if you can see, and maybe I pointed this out in another video, but what will happen is you will get a nice image along the edge. It's like, there you go. It's like a little embossing, I guess. Let me see. I'm sorry, that's not coming out real well. So it's like a little embossing. You'll get that on the tag as well as on the paper that you cut it out from. You can't see it here because I had flipped it upside down, and I have it perfectly positioned right now. I don't want to take it out because it's just lined up just perfect right now. So I used this and I cut it out of this sheet of paper and took the tag, and then I took my stamp, and it's a rubber stamps, and they cling right to this set. So I took the stamp and I put the words down and faced it where I wanted it to be. And then I inked it up and I tested to see where it would stamp. And so it is lined up right now perfectly. You can see here also that it took me a few tries, but with a few tries, it's going to pay off because this card that I worked on, I had to make 20 of them because I wanted to create them for a swap. And here's the card that was created using the Old World suite of products. So here's the tag that we're making. And then here is the globe part. And let me show you the dies that go with it. So this is the globe stand that I used, as well as the globe. I chose the North America side of the earth here on the globe. And you can cut out the globe separate if you want. And here's a small stand. There's also a feather, and there's that little doodad that I put at the bottom of my tag. Here's a little inkwell, and these two pieces are decorative. This is like a de-embossed scripting that you can use on your paper, and then look at that beautiful decorative piece that you can also use. So those are the dies, and this is the Old World Suite, the stamp set here. Absolutely love this set. I like it because I like the mixed font between the Make the World Better Place. It has the typed font as well as the cursive. Now, the reason the Stamparatus came in so handy, let me show you. This is how the card worked. I put a little piece of the foil, the brass paper in the corner, and I glued it only halfway so that this card could tuck in there. So this is the way the card opens. And then here's a place for your inside greeting. Look at that beautiful gold paper with it looks like a map. It's just gorgeous. And so the card closes like that, but I added this in order for this to tuck in underneath so the card could actually stand and be displayed. You can't see that very well. Let me show you from the side. So it's like an easel card. And then by having that little piece for it to tuck under, it'll allow the card to stand and be shown off by your recipient to whoever comes by. So anyways, that's the card that I created. And as I mentioned, this is the label that was challenging. And the other challenging piece for me, because I have I do have an issue with getting things straight sometimes. This kind of threw me off. The words are angled, right? The world is a better place. And so just that little bit of angling, I was just so happy to have the Stamparatus that would allow me to get this stamped each and every time. So I'm going to just show you what I did to make the label quick and easy. Now that I have everything lined up and I've got my template, I'm just going to ink up the words. And then I'm going to actually flip this over because I already stamped it once. So I'm going to flip it over, stick the die cut back into the template, and then go ahead and stamp. And I rub it just a little bit to adhere it. And sometimes I like my stamped image to be a really crisp and dark black. So I'm going to ink it again. And that's the beauty of the Stamparatus, is that it keeps your position in place so that I can go right over those words again with more ink to make it even more dark. And I love how crisp and that image is. What a great job. I just love this stamping. So that is a couple of the benefits of the Stamparatus, is being able to stamp over your stamped image, especially when you're normally stamping. If you were to hold your stamp the wrong way, sometimes you don't always get a perfect image. This allows you to stamp it, get a perfect image, and if it didn't get enough ink, or you needed more ink, or something happened, you can just go over it again in the same place. So wonderful tool. I use it a lot, especially when I had to do 20 or more of these tags. It works great if you're in production mode for making sure all your stamping comes out very well. So that was my first example of the Stamparatus. The second, I had to create, wanted to create some more masculine cards. So I'm going to do the same thing, and this is using our Sailing Home set. This is in our current catalog, and it will be carrying over to the new catalog. So I'm excited about that because I love this set for masculine cards as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that stamp set under there, because just by doing that, by putting your stamp set underneath the plate, when you start to ink your stamps up, you'll find that you don't get as much ink all over this plate. So, and these stamp sets and cases seem to be the perfect height for holding your plate flat and straight. So for this particular one, I find it much easier. I cut out this die using the dies that coordinate with the Sailing Home. I use the lighthouse, which isn't pictured here because it's over at my stamping station. However, you do get the lighthouse with this set, as well as all these beautiful dies that cut out sailboats. And I love this, like seaweed, a nice little tag, a knot, an anchor. And this is like a compass for the compass that's in the set, compass needle. Anyway, love this set too. And so what I had done, and I find it much easier, is to go ahead and die cut a whole bunch of blank die cuts of what you need, and then use the Stamparatus to stamp the image on the die cut. That is so much faster than actually stamping it first, lining your die cut on your big shot each and every time so that it's straight. This way you are going to stamp your lighthouse perfectly each and every time by just using a blank template. So I made quite a few of these cards as well, 20 of these cards. So this was definitely my go-to method for doing the lighthouse. So I stamped up the lighthouse, and then I just flipped it over, rubbed it down again, and there I have a very good image and precisely stamped so that it's even around all the edges. So it is so much faster than trying to die cut perfectly each and every image. So another tip for you is to use the Stamparatus for that. And then the other piece is I wanted to create a label for my card. And like I said, I'm not always stamping evenly. So I like to make sure that I'm not crooked. So I lined up this label. This is using our timeless label punch. I just wanted to give the sentiment. And so I'm going to go ahead and stamp up this happy birthday and stamp it so that it's straight on the label. And then each and every time it comes out just beautiful. I love it. It's like magic to me, especially when I have a hard time doing it hand stamped each time. So let me show you the cards that I did with that. And like I said, I made 20 of them. So this is the card that I made, and here it is in navy, and then there's the label punch, and it's a double Z fold card. So we use the images of the sailboat and then the birds, and then you still have a spot to put your sentiment and to sign the card. And I did two versions of it. That's my navy blue and white sample, and here is another sample using the soft suede and some of the other colors that came in the Sail Away pack of paper. Now that particular paper is retiring, so if you like this paper and want more of it, you'll need to order it before June 2nd. When the new catalog comes out, then you're no longer able to order these, but we will still have availability to the stamps, so that's a good thing. This particular saying came from the Rustic Retreat stamp set. It didn't have a happy birthday in this set, so I switched it up, and that came from Rustic Retreat. Okay, so the only other thing I wanted to mention here is that the Stamparatus is great for precision stamping, and it's also good if you wanted to do step stamping. So what that means is these plates, they can move, and you get two plates, one for this top and one for the bottom. So you can be stamping multiple things, or doubles, two-step stamping, where you have to stamp one image over another. It allows you to do that with a lot of preciseness. And then this step stamping, which is where if I wanted happy birthday layered one right on top of another, I just have to step it using this plate. I just, you can see now it's a little bit higher, and it will space it evenly just by moving the plate. So that's called step stamping. So the Stamparatus is good for that, as well as you can use the mirroring technique where you want the reverse of an image using your silicone pad, and you can use the wreath technique. So if you see cards where they're stamping in a perfect circle with their image, you use the Stamparatus to also create your wreath. So there's a lot of uses and purposes for the Stamparatus, which makes it my #1 favorite tool in the world, in the stamping world. So if you don't have one, if you want to know more about it, you just can go ahead and contact me. So what I'm going to do for all the community members is I will post a file in our file group that talks about the Stamparatus, some of the tips for storing it and cleaning it, and to remind you of what other techniques you can use with the Stamparatus. So a couple of these cards are also going to be featured that I showed you tonight, will be featured in my masculine class. So that's coming up June 11th through the 13th. And if you want the packet of materials mailed to you, you need to respond by June 5th. So if you like those cards and you want everything cut out for you, that's what I'll do. I'll cut all the card stock and the die cuts and all of that and send that to you. So just look on my website and you can see the class dates. If you'd like to put them together, use it during a virtual session. Those are the dates, June 11th and 13th, and then the times are listed on my website. just a reminder, next week will be fun. Why? Because the new catalog is coming out. Yay! I'm so excited for that. I've been showing you some of the products, and some of my favorites in the old catalog are carrying over and some aren't. And celebrate the season. No, not celebrate. I think it's celebrate the season. It's got You Make Me Smile. I think that was on my post. That's set with seasonal. It's got a little chair in it and a little drink, and it's got leaves and snow. So it's great for all seasons. That was one of my favorites. That one is retiring. So if there's anything you want retired that is retiring, you have to get it before June 2nd. So that's Tuesday. And then the new catalog comes out on Wednesday. And then you'll see me again next week, probably Thursday, and I will have all my swap cards back using some of the new products. So I'll show you that, and I'll be here to answer any questions that you have about the catalog or any products. I would be happy to share and take questions. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to see if I can actually see your comments. This is a test, so bear with me. Let's see if I can do that. See if anybody has joined me. Oh, I do see a few folks that have joined me. So, hey, that's great. Sandy and Connie, and Sherry have joined me. So that's really exciting. Thank you for joining me. So next week, I'll have these comments up. So if you have questions on the new catalog, or you want me to show you something specific, I'll have some few things lined up that are my favorites, and I'll share those with you. So have a great week. It's beautiful here in Minnesota, so enjoy the summer-like weather, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye.